Yet? Well, there's a bunch of familiar faces out here. Have all of you been arrested at one time or another? Dave, you know these people?
I know a lot of them.
Sam, I don't know whether we need to turn that sound up. Can you hear that? Folks, can you hear that sound good? You good? Okay, all right. Welcome. Well, what a great crowd. And for a great reason. And we'll tell you all about it here in just a bit. But first, let me bring forward to the microphone Luke Winfrey, who will provide us with the invocation. Luke, stay seated.
If you all would bow your heads and pray with me, please. Dear Heavenly Father, I just want to say thank you, God. I'd like to say thank you for this town and this community that we live in. God, I'd also like to say thank you for Mr. David Millsap. God, just for everything he's done in this community already and everything he's going to do. God, I would also like to take this time and say thank you. Thank you for your Son, Jesus Christ, and the love He showed for us on that cross. God, sacrificing His life so that we may live. God, and I also ask that you help David. God, in every step that he takes, in every decision that he makes, God, you just guide him in everything that he does. Father, we love you, and thank you for this food. And bless it to the nourishment of our body, and thank you for the hands that prepared it. We love you. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Now, it's really encouraging to have young people like that, right? You all would agree. Amen. All right. Well, tonight, we celebrate the homecoming of David Millsap. He looks too young to retire, but he did on January the 25th after 22 years of service with the Springfield Police Department. At that time of his retirement, he was a commander of the Springfield Police Department's Criminal Investigation Division. During his time with the Springfield Police Department, David has served in a variety of leadership roles, including assignments as a Patrol Division Commander, Criminal Investigations Section Commander, Special Investigations Section Commander, Traffic Section Commander, betcha that was fun, and as the department's training director from 2001 through 2005. For the past 7 years, David has served as a commander in the criminal investigations. He's had an overall command of 70 homicide investigations, and he's been in the forefront of his department's increased activities to address the issue of domestic violence. David led the effort to establish the Family Violence Task Force back in 2012 and served as its first chairman. A Victims Memorial Garden brick was dedicated by the Victim Center in honor of David's work with crime victims in 2010. Quite an honor. David's law enforcement career did not start in Springfield, though. Prior to joining the Springfield Police Department, David served as 10 years as a deputy juvenile officer in the 26th Circuit Court and as a reserve deputy sheriff in Laclede County for 4 years. He has a bachelor's degree in criminal justice administration and broadcasting and film from Central Missouri State University. He earned a master's degree in criminal justice administration from Tiffin University. David also a graduate of both Northwestern University's Police Staff and Command College and the Senior Management Institute for Police. That's pretty impressive credentials, David. Well, David is not the only Springfield Police Commander from Lebanon. Did you know that? Representing the Springfield Police Department tonight is Major Jim McCullough, a 1985 graduate of Lebanon High School, the Support Services and Investigation Bureau Commander. Major McCullough has a presentation to make. Major McCullough, would you come forward, please?
Thanks. It's good to be here. It's good to be back home. I grew up here and went to school here. My dad still lives here, and a lot of friends. I've seen 2 or 3 school teachers here in the crowd tonight that years ago were my teachers. So anyway, thanks for the good turnout and the good crowd that's here. There's a lot more folks here than what Captain Millsap told me was going to be here. So, anyway, we want to congratulate him on his retirement. It's been a good 22 years. things have been a little bit interesting the last 2 years since I became his boss, but we'll talk about that later. So anyway, tonight we're going to present him with a badge that we present to all of our retirees that leave the department. It's a chance for co-workers that he's had over the last 22 years to come and sign, and something he can display on a wall or somewhere at home or at office or wherever he goes. So Dave, if you'd come forward, I'd like to present that badge to you. Congratulations on your retirement after 22 years at the police department, and we're proud of the work you've done in Springfield.
Thank you, man.
Well, while we celebrate this as a homecoming, you know, David really never strayed very far from home. He drove up and down that interstate every single day. How many miles? A lot. A lot. David commuted, as I said, 22 years. He and Tammy could raise the children here in a community that he loved, grew up in, and felt it was the best for his family to be here. That's a nice compliment to this community. Of course, Jason and Amanda are his children. Tammy, would you just stick an arm up here? Well, she's way back in the corner. We need to recognize her. Let's give her a round of applause. Are they here tonight as well, Jason? They're back there. All right.
Amanda's right over there.
Okay, very good. So they're all put to work tonight. He stayed active in our community. As you probably know, a sportscaster, along with Kevin Stubblefield on Pagel for the last 29 years. Well, I'll tell you what, I get so many great compliments on those two when they get together on the radio and start talking sports. There's not anyone in the area that can beat them, and I think you'd agree to that 100%. He also, thank you, he's also served as a baseball coach for 25 years. He was talking to some of the old team members back there. He may have some stories. He and Tammy are active members of their church, Mount Zion Free Will Baptist Church. When he left the Springfield Police Department, well, we didn't think he was done yet. And tonight, please welcome the next sheriff of Laclede County.
You know, my business, when you see somebody head at you like that, you probably... Thank you, sir. Well, thank you. I am, to say the least, overwhelmed by the size of the crowd here tonight. A lot of people that I've known all of my life, and I appreciate you coming out here. I especially want to thank James and Bev Thompson and Sam and Susan Allen and my family for the celebration. I'd like to thank Mike Edwards, what a great job he does to MC this event, and Jim McCullough and Luke Winfrey for the invitation. And I want to tell you a little bit about Jim McCullough. He didn't say much, but Jim and I are 6 years apart, and I was his baseball coach. And we came up through the ranks of the SPD together, and we were captains together in patrol. And I had the south side, and he had the north side. And the position came open for major, which is second in command. And they were also going to make a captain's position in criminal investigation. So we knew that the major's position was going to be between Jim and I. Now, well, at least I hope it was. We were the only two captains, so I was hoping it would be the major. So Jim gets promoted to major. Now, we made a deal. Whoever got promoted to major would take the other one with him to criminal investigations to be the division commander. And we were in a car together, and I remember we were at Kansas and Sunshine. And Jim looks over at me after he's made major, and he looked at me and goes, "I bet you never thought it'd turn out like this, did you?" I just reminded him, Jim, you remember that when I was your baseball coach, that I played you all the time. I treated you really well. And just keep that in mind. It was a great 3 years serving under Jim McCullough. He's done very well. He's very well respected. and we should honor him tonight for his service also. And there was another commander that retired from the Springfield Police Department about 2 years ago, who was a lieutenant. His name was Roger Moore, and his wife is here, and his mom and dad is here. Raj is in Kansas City in a class, but he retired as a lieutenant. And I think when I made lieutenant, Jim then made lieutenant, and Roger made lieutenant. And somebody said, well, I guess if you want to be a commander in the Springfield Police Department, you got to be from Lebanon. So, I guess so. Well, law enforcement is a tough job, and there's a lot of things in that job with rotating shifts and working weekends and call-outs and calls at night and those types of things. And it's a tough position, and it's gotten tougher over the last couple of years. With a lot of stuff that goes on in the mainstream media, talking about law enforcement and some of the misrepresentation of that. But it's a tough position. And we have men and women every day that go out and do a great job in law enforcement. And to kind of give you an idea, out of 12 million arrests that will be made nationwide, police use force in only 1% of that. Now, if you listen to the media, you'd think that we're out there doing all kinds of things using force, and that's not true. We have people out there every day working in commitment, in courage, and in compassion with the communities they work in. Many of those people are here tonight who are past law enforcement officers and who are current law enforcement officers. Would you give them a big round of applause? And also, it takes a real commitment from their family. And so I told somebody the other day, I had the best cop wife you could have. She told me when I decided to go to Springfield, I said, Tammy, I want to go to Springfield. I think that we'll have some professional opportunities there that we may not have here. And she said, well, you can go anywhere you want, but we're not moving. And so we commuted back and forth for 22 years. And Tammy had to put up with that late night phone calls when I was the commander in criminal investigations, especially as lieutenant. And Alan Neal here is here, by the way, tonight. And he was the sergeant in charge of violent crimes, and which is the homicide robbery unit. And we get calls late at night. I pick it up. I remember typical Jim McCullough, by the way. I pick up the phone. He goes, Mac, what are you doing? Well, I'm sleeping or waiting for your phone call. And so Mac and I debated this, what we were going to do, this call, and Tammy was dead asleep, and I'm sitting on the side of the bed. Well, I thought she was dead asleep. And so Mac and I are back and forth about what we were going to do, resources, all those type of things. And finally, out of nowhere, Tammy yells, just book him, Dano. So they have to put up with a lot. So I know there's some spouses here tonight. Let's give them a round of applause. I think 2016 is the most important election of our time. I think who we put in the White House, in the State House, and in the courthouse is going to be ultimately the most important decision that we make probably in this decade. And I think that we have to put people in that position that still have a passion to serve people. And I think we have to find people who want to protect what we value. And here in Laclede County, we value our family, we value our friends and neighbors, and we value our community and our Constitution. And we have to start electing people that have a sense of that we're going to protect what we value. And in this community, and when I started this trip as to make a decision whether or not to run for sheriff, and I talked to many of you in the audience tonight, you told me what you think is attacking what we value in this community. You told me about the drug problem here. I talked to a lot of business people, and they tell me it's an economic problem because we have jobs to fill, but we can't fill them because we can't get people to pass a drug test. And we've got to be better than that in Laclede County. We know that drugs tears families apart. And addiction tears families apart. And we have to do something about that. And we're going to have a two-prong attack on that. First thing we're going to do is we're going to partner with the Missouri Highway Patrol, Lake Area Narcotics, the Lebanon Police Department, the Conway Police Department, and our neighboring communities of Camden and Webster and Pulaski and Wright in Texas County. I ran the drug unit in Springfield, and I can tell you right now, if you don't partner with your neighbors, you're not going to solve that problem. And we need to put people in prison that are bringing drugs to this community. And we can do a better job to help the prosecutor do that by being better at what we do, and we have to partner with the right people. And I'm telling you right now, we're going to partner with the Missouri Highway Patrol and Lake Area Narcotics to solve that problem. But it can't stop there. This is a community-wide problem. And the sheriff has to take the first step to solve this as a community issue. And what I will do is I will bring civic leaders to the table, along with people from the faith community, and bring people from the business community, and people from education and medical professionals, and sit at the table with them and come up with a community-wide direction and solution to solve the drug problem in Laclede County. We have to do that. We're better than that. We'll also attack family violence and child abuse. We will give deputies better training on going out and handling domestic violence calls and child abuse calls, so we can work with the prosecutor to keep victims engaged in domestic violence cases. One of the hardest things in the world to do is to keep a domestic violence victim engaged in a criminal justice system that is too long, and it's hard on them. And we will work with the prosecutor to make better cases. But we will also work with victim advocates to make sure that the victims of child abuse and domestic violence are taken care of. In Lebanon, in 2014, the Cope House, our shelter for women, turned away 500 women seeking shelter. We've got to do a better job in domestic violence. And we're going to attack property crimes. And the hardworking people of Laclede County need a sheriff that's going to go out and target career criminals who are involved in property crimes. We work hard for our stuff, and we need to protect the people's farm equipment, their livestock, their homes, and make sure that they're taken care of. And we'll have an approach in which we target career criminals. And we will also, for the first time, have neighborhood watch and business watch programs out in the county. That can make a huge difference. We did that in Springfield, and we cut property crime by 13%. And finally, we have to do something about the liability issues in the county jail. Over the last 2 years, we've had drugs smuggled into the jail. We've had overdoses in the jail. We've had sexual assaults in the jail. We've had staff members that have been assaulted in the jail. We have to do a better job managing that jail. It is a huge liability factor for this county. It's going to cost us millions of dollars one of these days if we don't take care of those issues. We have people working in the Laclede County Jail and as members of the Sheriff's Department who want leadership, they want to be trained, and we're going to do that. I believe they serve with great passion also, and they deserve a leader who has their best interests at heart. Those are the things that we want to do. And how do we accomplish that? Well, we do it as a team. And I can tell you right now, we have to do this as a team. Vision spurs passion. In Proverbs, it was written, where there is no vision, the people will perish. In this community, if we have no vision, we're going to continue to have problems that we can't override. We have to have somebody who wants to lead with vision. And I'm asking you to join me to be able to do that. We accomplish this through teamwork. The other ingredient, and Vince Lombardi said this, you know, he won 5 NFL championships and 2 Super Bowls between 1959 and 1968. He said the key ingredient in reaching goals, any goal, was hard work. Ladies and gentlemen, join me as part of a team that promises to go out and work hard. And I think we'll make a huge difference in Laclede County. I can't tell you how much I appreciate all of you coming out. And if I haven't got around to shake your hand or talk to you, please come up and talk to me and see me. It means a lot, a lot that you're here tonight. And again, thank you on behalf of my family and friends. Thank you for being here, and God bless you.